Stop using AI to learn English. I know that's the exact opposite of what everybody is telling you to do in 2025, but in today's video, I want to talk to you about why artificial intelligence is ruining your English, or at least why it's preventing you from finally becoming fluent. Now, if you're like most of the students I work with, you probably use AI. There's nothing inherently wrong with using AI, but the problem is when you use it as your only tool, when it replaces other more critical ways of learning. And what do I mean by critical? Human connection, conversation, speaking. Because yes, you can speak with an AI. You can open up your phone. You can speak to ChatGPT for, I think, 20 minutes or something like that on the free plan. But at the end of the day, you're not speaking with a real human. And that has a few negative consequences. For example, you don't put yourself in real world situations. Practicing with AI is like practicing in an artificial environment. It's literally artificial intelligence. You can't simulate the stress that you might experience, for example, in an interview when public speaking. You're in your comfort zone. It feels safe. You're just talking to a screen. You're not talking to a real person. And while that might seem appealing, especially if you are shy or nervous to speak English, you're not doing yourself any favors. It's not helping you. You need to prepare yourself for real world conversation. You need to prepare yourself for those stressful situations, those situations where you do have to get out of your comfort zone. Because I'm sure you know just as well as I do, that's the reality of the world. And that's why actually practicing with a real person puts you under a bit more pressure. It forces you to be more intentional about how you speak. It forces you to pay attention to your speaking and to focus on making a good impression, to focus on using the correct vocabulary, correct pronunciation. With AI, you can very easily get lazy because AI is not judging you. It's not a real person. It's just a screen, a voice behind a screen. If you want to prepare yourself for the real world, and of course you do, because that's why you're learning a language, you need to actually practice it in the real world. And another big problem with AI is that it teaches you textbook English that nobody ever uses. Now, what do I mean by this? If you talk to AI, for example, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, any of these AI bots, the responses you get will always be perfect, almost too perfect. And guess what? We are human. We are naturally imperfect. And if you don't prepare yourself for imperfection, for grammatical mistakes, for speaking quickly, for slang, right? Anything less than textbook, anything less than perfect, if you don't prepare yourself for those situations, when you actually encounter them in the real world, you run into trouble. And again, the solution to this is to speak with a real human. That's my philosophy, and that's the philosophy of my organization. I tell this to my students all the time. My teachers agree with me on this one. The solution to this problem is to speak English with real people. English is a language. Languages need to be spoken, and they need to be spoken with real people. Human connection is an integral part of learning a language because without it, you're missing something. You're missing a piece of the puzzle that makes you fluent. Now, I work with students from all over the world. I work with students from North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, everywhere except Antarctica. And one of the things that you have to always take into account when working with students from different cultures is that there are not only language barriers, but there are also cultural barriers. Every culture has its own unique customs, practices, and social norms. And that's something that AI can't really teach because again, that's very human. It depends on where you grow up. It depends on who you grow up with. It depends on how you grow up. And it's not just about language. It's literally about your identity, about where you were born, who you were as a child, who your parents were, who your friends were, what religion you practiced, what foods you tried. Everything to do with your cultural identity comes from childhood, and it's something that's ingrained deeply inside you. And it's not something that AI can readily understand. Interacting with people from different cultures is one of the reasons people learn and should learn new languages. It's not something that talking to an AI or talking to ChatGPT can prepare you for. The only way to prepare yourself for any sort of cultural exchange or any sort of interaction with people from different cultures is practice. It comes with practice. It comes with speaking with real humans and speaking that language with real humans. Now, earlier I mentioned that AI teaches you textbook English. And by textbook English, I mean perfect English, almost too perfect. Part of being human is imperfection. Anybody, literally anybody, can go on the internet and post something written by AI. There's no character, there's no voice, there's no individuality in that. And I predict that in the coming years, we will see an increase of that. We will see ads, we will see posts, we will see articles, we are already seeing those, written by AI. And they're all going to sound the same. The ones that people will actually want to read will be written by humans because they will be the most creative. They will be the most individual. They will be the most human of them all. If you can prepare yourself for that, if you can focus on your English and learning English in a way that's human and that emphasizes your humanity, you are setting yourself up for success in the future because not everybody will have that. If you are creative, if you are able to use language in a way that AI can't, you will be more successful than the majority of people who use AI or who rely on AI. And that's another problem. AI is almost like a drug. It's so easy to open your phone, write something to ChatGPT, and get addicted to this. And by the way, ChatGPT tends to agree with a lot of the things you say, which can actually be quite dangerous if you think about it. It's very agreeable. And sometimes you want somebody to challenge your beliefs, to tell you that you're wrong and not to agree with everything you say. And that's something that generally, unless you prompt the AI, humans are better at. I would suggest if you are learning English in 2025, based on all my experience and the experience of the teachers I work with, the students in my programs who use AI, if you can focus on learning English without AI, without that crutch, without that over-reliance on it, you'll have a huge advantage in the future. And another thing that I actually recommend is writing by hand. Practice your writing skills by hand. Grab a sheet of paper and a pencil and write, because that's also going to help you improve your spelling. One of the problems with autocorrect and modern technology is that you become reliant on it and you forget how to spell words. This is a problem that even native speakers encounter, especially the younger generation. If you can get that connection between your wrist and your brain, you're more likely to remember words. You're more likely to remember how to spell them, and you're going to have a much more solid understanding of the language. So yes, put pen to paper. Do things the old school way. I 100% advocate for that because it's so easy to get lost in all this modern technology, which is wonderful, by the way. You would not be watching this video today if it weren't for modern technology. But never forget that we are human, language is human, and at the end of the day, simple, basic, old school, face-to-face human connection and communication will always be the single most important factor in most of what we do, including learning a language. Now, that's not to say that you can't use AI for some things. I think AI can be helpful in certain instances. It can speed things up in your work, for example, but I don't think, in fact, I strongly believe that AI is not a replacement for real human connection. It's not a replacement for real human conversation, because at the end of the day, that's the point of language. We are human, we need language, and if you are learning English, you need to learn English with real people. Now, if you are interested in learning with real people, we have several programs available that might be a good fit for you. If you are interested, just click the link in the description below. You can tell us a bit more about your situation, what you need help with, what your goals are for English, and if we think we can help you, we'll reach out. So click the link in the description below, apply today, and I hope you found this video useful. Make sure to subscribe here on YouTube, it really helps us out on the channel, and of course, don't forget to like and leave a comment. Let me know in the comments, do you use AI to learn English? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I welcome any and every opinion, so feel free to share below in the comments. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next